Finally, we are alone, just you and me. At last, I have you to myself. I own you now. I own your eyes, every time you gaze at my words, reading the lines I've written. This will be the last novel you ever read of mine in your lifetime, for I am standing at the edge of death. I have only a few hours left in this life, how many, I do not know, but I am certain they are few. Yet, they are enough for me to pour into you what I wish to share. Before I begin, I must tell you, you must read this book and then burn it. They will come for it and anyone who reads it, just as they have done with every book that resembled it. Do not panic. Simply remember my words well, and if they kill you after my words have enlightened you, you will die content. And who, in this era, dreams of dying content? So do not be afraid, my friend. Who am I? Where am I? Why and how? These are all questions I know are haunting you. Perhaps you're even tempted to throw this book away and return to your life. But let me assure you, it makes no difference to them whether you keep it and read it or toss it into the nearest trash. They will destroy everyone. Yet, for the reader of this book, there may be a chance to survive. Don't look at me like that. Though I am the writer, I am doomed. Soon, they will storm into this room and wipe me from the face of the earth as though I never existed. Let's not waste time on pointless explanations. Let me start right away, there is no time left for either of us to waste. You will learn many things in my story, and you will deny even more. Some things will fascinate you, while others will stir hatred within you. But let me tell you one important thing, I will never lie to you. I will only tell you the truth, truths no one before me has dared to tell you. I will share with you secrets that someone like you was never meant to know. Had I lied, they wouldn't kill me. They would have rewarded me, as they do with everyone else. I know you are an impatient person. Either you are not a fan of reading or you are but only care for books adorned with the names of well-known authors. That's why I have devised a game just for you. A game that you and I will play, with no one else involved. It's the game of cards. Not Basra cards or tarot cards, but a different kind altogether, a cursed kind. The most important thing about them is their order. If they are arranged incorrectly, they will be nothing but worthless scraps. But if arranged properly, as you and I will do, they will unlock doors to secrets no one has ever shared with you, dangerous secrets. Everyone who learns these secrets is killed, and every teacher of them is burned. I will lay before you 13 sets of cards. Each set tells a story, a secret they want to hide from people like you. They will hunt you down because you know it. And because I respect your impatience, each of the 13 stories will be presented in a different way from the previous one. See how careful I am to hold your attention. That's because I have little time left in this life, and I don't want to waste a moment of it on your wandering mind. But between each story, you can let your mind drift, because I will ramble a bit. And though my ramblings are crucial, if you must drift off, do so only during this space and no further. As we progress step by step in this game, I will tell you more about myself, where I come from, how I got to you, and who they are, the ones who will kill you and burn you after they kill and burn me. I will also tell you how to escape them. But for now, all I will tell you is my name. I am Bobby Frank. You've likely guessed from my name that I'm American, and yes, that is correct. One last thing before we begin, don't think you can read this book all at once, in a single, peaceful session at your favorite spot. You must read it over 13 times to fully understand it. Now, let's begin our game, which I'll reveal the name of later. For now, just know it's a game of cards, cursed cards. So, sit quietly in front of me and look at the first set of cards I will now arrange on the table. I know the dim light in my room is causing you a headache, but don't worry. It's necessary. Let's start. I've placed 6 cards in front of you, face down. I'll reveal them to you one by one, in the proper order, the order that will tell the first story and reveal the first secret. Follow along with me. The first card shows a fearsome demon with 2 horns, visibly enraged. The second is the card of earth magic, depicting light emerging from the ground, shattering several surrounding rocks. The third is the card of air magic, featuring a sorcerer casting a spell into the air. The fourth is the card of ultimate power, showing a strong man's hand wearing a large golden ring. The fifth card shows idols, seemingly destroyed by someone. And the sixth and final card is the hammer card, showing a powerful blacksmith wielding a massive hammer with fury. Even if you forget these images and cards now, they will flash vividly in your memory as I narrate the first story and reveal the first secret. Title: The Prince of Light. On the day light was created. 2500 BCE, 2000 BCE. I will sing this song to the gods, when the great Savior comes, and this innocent, anxious, beautiful girl, come now and set her free. An old Babylonian song, sung by a wise old man in an ancient Babylonian language. He sang with a rich, melodious voice, though the background music didn't quite match the beauty of his voice. Instead, he sang along to the sound of sheep grazing in the pasture, occasionally herding them with his staff. He was happy, and who wouldn't be in such a breathtaking landscape? We are in the ancient kingdom of Assyria, near the city of Babylon, the greatest city ever seen by human or jinn alike. This shepherd with the gentle voice was an old man named Ishma. When the great Savior comes, you will surely be free. More than 4,000 years ago, the earth was not as it is now, nor was the sky. Back then, Ishma could look into the pond he walked beside and see all the fish and shells in it as clearly as one might see birds in the sky. Everything was pure and pristine. Ishma, the old shepherd, decided to rest for a while under a tree where he usually left his provisions. When he arrived, he noticed something strange: his food bag was open. These poor thieves will never learn. If they had just asked, I would have given them food, he thought. But instead, they prefer to steal, unwilling to ask for help, but happy to take what isn't theirs. Ishma was surprised, however, because even though the bag was open, most of the food was still there. The milk was slightly less, and small pieces of cheese had been nibbled on, but it wasn't enough to make a difference. Ishma sat under the tree, ate, drank, and rested before deciding to take a bath in a nearby pond. Like all shepherds in ancient times, he took off his clothes and waded into the water. As he bathed, he kept glancing back at his belongings from time to time. Suddenly, a flock of beautiful doves landed near his food. The birds started pecking at the cheese and filling their tiny beaks with milk in a strange scene. They would fly away to a nearby spot, wait a few minutes, and then return to eat more of his food. Intrigued, Ishma left the water and dressed in his ancient Babylonian garments, but instead of going to his food, he followed the doves. When he reached the place where the doves flew, his old eyes widened in astonishment. There, among the trees, lay a beautiful little girl, no older than 9, surrounded by the doves that fed her with milk from their beaks. The girl laughed and waved her hands in delight. When Ishma approached her, she laughed even harder, filling his heart with tenderness and bringing tears to his eyes. To the mind of an ancient Babylonian shepherd, this was a scene of mythical proportions. Ishma gently picked up the child and raised her to the sky, the doves fluttering around them with joy. He looked into her wide, beautiful eyes, noticing her long, exquisite eyelashes. It was the first time he'd ever seen a child so beautiful. He decided to take her with him and raise her. He named her after the doves that seemed to love her so much, beloved of the doves, or Semiramis, in the ancient Babylonian language. When the great Savior comes, you will surely be free. Babylon was celebrating, and when Babylon celebrates, beauty multiplies 1,000-fold. Green mountains, clear rivers, and magnificent white and blue marble palaces decorated with intricate paintings were adorned with children throwing saffron petals into the air. Horses pranced, and people, dressed in their most elegant attire, rejoiced. It was a grand occasion. King Kush and Queen Odage had a newborn son. Such celebrations weren't held for a daughter. The child lay in a cradle surrounded by midwives, who had tended to the queen throughout her labor. As you approached the cradle, you'd hear whispers of admiration. Look at those eyes, he's the most beautiful child I've ever seen. But something else lurked nearby, casting a shadow over the celebration. Not far from the child, demonic figures smiled sinisterly, reciting something under their breath. Despite the midwives placing protective amulets of blue beads and garlic around the cradle, and marking the queen's forehead with saffron for protection, the demons seemed unaffected. The crowd quieted as the grand priest, known as the Muhil in Babylon, spoke. Today, the world and all of humanity